generally, springtime, late winter, early spring is when the Rattle Trap really shines. And during those months, generally the water's off colored. And I don't know what the reason is, but red really tends to shine in that late winter to early spring time of year when you have some off colored water. So you can see here, I have a few different colors of red, but probably my go-to, my number one, is gonna be this one here. And this one's called Rayburn Red. And it's responsible for several 10+ pound bass that I've caught over the years. You know, again, fisheries that I'm unfamiliar with, I pull up, my first time, water's a little off colored, that one's gonna be tied on every time as my crawfish pattern. Moving over to bluegill, which is another mainstay forage for these bass across the country. This is another one that I really like. And it has the purple hue, kind of white side, orange chin, with a little hint of chartreuse there on the back. And that one's called Royale. And this one imitates a bluegill in my opinion, and sometimes a shad, but again, these are colors that are gonna get me covered regardless of the situation. So it may be a shad I wanna imitate, or it may be a bluegill that their fish are feeding on, but this bait right here pretty much covers both of those realms. Then you just have your tried and trues that have been catching them since 1964. You know, your granddad probably caught them on them. I know my granddad did, and that's just your old school chrome with the blue back. I mean, this bait right here catches everything. Crappie, bluegill, bass, striped bass, you name it, it gets it done. It's just one of those catch-all colors. And so this is another mainstay in my box. All right, guys, a couple more tips I want to talk to you guys about, and it's going to be on modifying your rattle traps. So here, I have a 1/2 ounce rattle trap, but you'll notice something about this bait right off the bat. It's missing a treble hook on the back. And you would think you would lose a lot of fish like this, but that's not the case. The reason why I do this is I love to fish a rattle trap around wood. People think rattle traps are notoriously known for getting hung up. And generally speaking, yeah, they will get hung up. But if you remove this back treble hook off, you can throw this thing almost like a square bill and come over limbs, laydowns, branches, logs, you name it. I can't tell you how many big fish I've caught thrown up alongside a laydown, coming over the top of the laydown, making that trap kind of hover up on its side, and then it'll come back to true itself, and boom, right on the other side of that log, that female will be waiting to crush it. That's something that I never see guys doing, and it's something I rarely talk about, but that's one of my favorite little modifications to a rattle trap. Another modification that I like to do to a rattle trap, and you may have seen this one before, it's a little more popular. You'll add a barrel swivel to that back split ring there, and I'll put a willow leaf blade on there. Silver, gold, it doesn't matter, whatever the color water is you think is gonna have the best flash, but that just adds a little flash to the already cool sound and very lifelike bait fish imitating action that the rattle trap is known for. So those are two quick tips that I like to use as I'm traveling around on tour that get me a few extra bites. Here you see I have the exact same bait in both hands. They're both 1/2 ounce original rattle trap knocking traps, one of my favorite. But you'll notice on this one here, I got round bend hooks, a little lighter wire. And on this one here, I have number 4, KVD triple grips. This comes standard. It's a great hook. I love this hook. The difference is early in the year when those fish are really wanting to eat that bait, I really like to roll with the KVD triple grips. Once they get that hook inside their mouth, this tends to keep them pinned exceptionally well. As the year progresses and the water warms, those fish they start slapping at the bait. They're not always necessarily choking it. They'll hit it, and you'll catch them in the head, you'll catch them in the tail and the belly sometimes. However, we got to catch them, right? We need to get them in the box. So that's when I'll switch to a lighter wire. This is a Gamakatsu number 4 round bend. With ease, this hook will penetrate the skin, bone, eyeball sockets. I mean, they're just sticky. You hear that term a lot in bass fishing, sticky hooks. And that is exactly what this hook is. And so, you know, April, May, June, moving into the summer months, I'll switch over to the lighter wire round bends, and I'll catch a lot more fish than I do with the triple grips with the round bend later in the year. Let's talk about the sound chambers in these rattle traps and the different scenarios that I like to fish these in. So here in my hand, this is the original rattle trap, the original sound that's been catching fish for years, and you can hear it. That's the original.